Ketantan takes a ride on a runaway dreidel. A story about Ketantan by Sadie Rose Weilerstein. It was Chanukkah, the festival of lights. The first little Chanukkah light was shining in the window. Aunt Gittel and Uncle Israel had come to visit. So had the little old Bubby. You remember her, don't you? The little old woman who sat next to Ketantan's mother in the synagogue and told her what to do if she wanted to have a child. From the kitchen came the pleasant sizzle of frying latkes. Everyone was laughing and singing and chattering. Everyone but Ketantan. Ketantan sat in a corner by himself, as sober as a weekday. There wasn't a smile on his face, not the tiniest bit of a smile. And all because of his great ambition. He had told the lions on the Chanukkah menorah all about this ambition the day before. See my tzedakah box? The blue one with the white star? It's where I put my charity. I'm going to fill it to the very top. Clinkety clink, away the pennies will go to Israel. They're to buy land, you know, for the Jewish farmers there, the chalutzim. They ought to get a good piece of land with a whole box full of money. But of course, if Ketantan wanted to fill his box, he had to have Chanukkah geld. Coins given to children on Chanukkah. But no one in the room had offered him any. Not father, not mother, not Bubby, not Uncle Israel, or even Aunt Gittel. Maybe they're hungry, and that's what makes them forget, thought Ketantan. Perhaps they'll remember after they've had some latkes. But no, Mother brought the latkes in, a great plateful of potato pancakes for the grown-ups, and a tiny little plateful for Ketantan. Every latke was eaten, and still no one said a word about Chanukkah geld. Perhaps I should remind them, thought Ketantan. I'll go right up and say, don't you know it's Chanukkah? Don't you know you're supposed to give Chanukkah geld on Chanukkah? But no, it wouldn't be polite to ask for Chanukkah geld. Come here, my little sober one, called Uncle Israel, picking Ketantan up in his hand. Where's your Chanukkah smile? Get out the dreidel, Gittel. We've got to wake our Ketantan up. Out came the dreidel, the whirling Chanukkah top with Hebrew letters on the sides. Uncle Israel seated Ketantan on top of it. Whirl and twirl, and Ketantan and the Chanukkah dreidel were spinning about on the table. Round and round and round and round whirled the dreidel. Faster and faster, faster and faster, faster and faster. Then slower and slower and slower. It swayed. It stopped. Ketantan peered over the side. Gimel, he called. His cheeks were rosy with excitement. He had forgotten about his disappointment. Or almost forgotten it. Your turn, Aunt Gittel, he called. Whirl and twirl, the dreidel was off again. Straight across the table it went, with Ketantan on it. Watch out, cried Father. It's going over the side. And over the side it went. Down from the table, across the floor, and out through the doorway. Spin, bump, spin, bump, 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 bump. Down the stairs and onto the street. Down the stairs and onto the street, after the runaway dreidel, went Father, and after Father, Mother, and after Mother, Uncle Israel, and Bubby, and Aunt Gittel. Stop the dreidel! Stop it, called Father to a policeman at the corner. Stop it, please stop it, called Mother, who was almost in tears. Stop it, stop the dreidel, called Bubby and Aunt Gittel and Uncle Israel all at the same time. But the policeman didn't know what a dreidel was. On and on sped the Chanukkah top with Katantan holding fast. He laughed aloud. He was enjoying the ride. Now they were at the corner. Now they had turned the corner and were spinning on, down a dark alley, around another corner, on, and still the dreidel spun. Would it ever stop? Katantan wasn't laughing now. Perhaps this was a punishment. Hadn't he sulked about the Chanukkah gelt? Hadn't he spoiled the joy of the holiday with his frown? He must accept whatever befell him. Gam zu l'tova, said Katantan. This too is for the best. As he spoke, the dreidel swerved. It turned into a gutter. It swayed drunkenly. It stopped. Katantan sprang to his feet and looked about. Something was gleaming in the darkness. It wasn't. It couldn't be. But it was. A big, round, shining quarter. Up came Father, panting and out of breath. He stooped over the gutter to pick up his frightened Katantan. But Katantan wasn't frightened. He was laughing and hugging a shining quarter to his breast. Chanukkah gelt, Father, cried Katantan, for my tzedakah box. Chanukkah gelt, said Father. I forgot all about Chanukkah gelt. Up came Mother with her handkerchief, ready to wipe away Katantan's tears. But there were no tears to wipe away. Chanukkah gelt, said Mother. I forgot all about Chanukkah gelt. Up came Uncle Israel and Aunt Gittel and the little old Bubby. Chanukkah gelt, Uncle Israel. See? My Chanukkah gelt. Bubby, Aunt Gittel. And Katantan held his precious quarter high in the air. Chanukkah gelt, cried Bubby, and Aunt Gittel and Uncle Israel together. To think, we forgot all about Chanukkah gelt. Then Father picked up his little son and carried him home, dreidel, Chanukkah gelt and all, down the street, up the stairs, and into the house, straight to the big blue and white tzedakah box. High up to the top of the box, Katantan was lifted. And then, Father emptied his pockets. He emptied every penny, nickel, quarter, and dime that was in them. And Uncle Israel emptied his pockets. And Mother and Aunt Gittel emptied their pocketbooks. And little old Bubby took out her handkerchief and untied the knot in a corner and shook out 8 shining new pennies, 1 for each night of the holiday. The Chanukkah gelt was piled up at the side of the blue box, so high that it covered the Jewish star. Father handed up the coins and Katantan rolled up his sleeves and pushed each one down the slot of the tzedakah box. Hooray, cried Katantan, as the last Chanukkah coin went clinkety-clink into the box. Hooray for Chanukkah gelt! Hooray for Eretz Yisrael! Hooray for the runaway dreidel! In memory of my little cousin Katantan and my great aunt, Sadie Rose Weilerstein.